Welcome back to Pukekohe, where the Utes have made way for the New Zealand V8s. Scott Pye's tagged in for Greg Murphy. Scott, this could get a bit wild.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've got 27, 28 cars there, everyone with something to prove. So it's, yeah, definitely this rolling start as well. It's going to be interesting.
This is how they line up, and there's a familiar name on pole. 2 Holdens on the front row, 2 Toyotas. Good to see the Toyotas racing in New Zealand on the second row, and also a big name down there. 3-time champ Johnny Mack is in this field. Over the page we go, AJ Lauder. He's the nephew of Paul Radisich, so that's pretty cool. His brother is also in the field. They're 18 and 16 years old respectively, and they're leading the championship. This is a 2-tier championship for the new cars and the old cars. Lee McDonald will start off the back of the field for this rolling start. He's just 15 years old, so there's a number of kids out there, and we're expecting this one to be very, very wild. 10 laps will be the journey. So Scott and I will lead you through this one after the break. It's the New Zealand V8 Touring Car Series, a rolling start for this one. The New Zealand Touring Cars, the New Zealand V8s, forming up for a rolling start. The front 5 cars will be running in their own race. A lot of young kids out there. Scott Pye, these guys are going to be very, very keen to impress in front of this big crowd.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they've got the crowd's definitely come out to support the Kiwis in main series and definitely in the V8 touring cars. It's, yeah, everyone's got something to prove, and I'm sure they're going to do that here off the rolling start. That's why there's a gap between the 2 fields. John McIntyre off the front row for the second tier of cars. Bargwana off the pole for the newer breed of cars. It's the last round of the championship for the New Zealand V8s, and we're green and racing already. Lights go out. Bargwana side by side with Nick Ross into turn 1. Ross doesn't want to yield, has to. Bargwana leads him through 2-3 and into 4. Looks clean so far, Scott. Yes, it's definitely surprising to me side by side restarts. I'm sure in Tasmania with us, everyone made it through very cleanly. That was Glenn Inkster in the background getting very sideways. Here comes Johnny Mack lining up the move on Andrew Anderson. Anderson blocking his line. Johnny Mack getting a little bit sideways, as to one of the Toyotas in third. Had their problems in qualifying, Brent Collins, former winner of the Toyota Racing Series, a category that you've personally raced in, mate. Yeah, certainly. I mean, we're looking at something very different here. As you can see, everyone's starting to struggle a little bit with the cold tyres, and obviously trying to get as much tempo as they can early. You see there, a couple of cars just stepping out of the hairpin. This will be the test as they come through 9, 10, 11. They caught a few guys out in qualifying. And one around, that's Sean Varney, teenager, sitting third in the championship in the Kawasaki Pro Tools Falcon. Looks like he's got this thing stranded. Is that the exit of turn 8, is that? He's going to get this car turned around. Oh, he's had help. A massive, massive dent in that right front door. That'll be fun to open later. And he's going to continue. So Bargwana still leading the field. Certainly looks like those 2 cars are getting the gap already. Well, these are the Holdens, first and second. New Zealand design, New Zealand built. These 5 cars, the TLX cars. Holden fans are certainly going to be having a field day this year, aren't they? And it's good actually, because for the last 6 years, as we have a look at replay down at turn 5 from the opening lap, that's McIntyre getting very sideways as he pulled back. Looked like he was going to try crisscross and Andrew Anderson. And at the back of the field, whack, that's Irwin turning around Varney. Everybody diving out of the way. Once more, replay back at 5. This is, so first lap. Oh, just the 2 Holdens. So for the last 6 years, the Fords have dominated the New Zealand V8 touring car scene. But not this year. There will be a changing this year, no doubt. It's either going to be Toyota or Holden. Yeah, it's great to see other manufacturers up there, especially with Toyota. And I mean, the car looks great, but Holden's dominance is fairly strong across the board today. Here we go, McIntyre lining this one up. Anderson just blocking the line. He's going to go the long way. See if he can set up a bit of a crisscross here. Try and get the run out of 6. That's the plan. It'll be interesting to see the hairpin here if Johnny can capitalise on it. 3-time New Zealand champ, but he's had 16 starts in our V8 Supercar Series. John McIntyre.
drove for WPS, Team Kiwi. And this battle set to rage. This is for first position in the older category car, the older generation. And that's the car that McIntyre won his last championship in 2011. Okay, how about this time, Scott, into one?
I don't know if into one's the perfect place to be trying to put the move on.
And that's ruined all momentum, hey?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can see that Johnny just had to pull out. It's not the place to be trying to overtake here.
What is this like? You know you've got the car speed that's faster than the guy in front of you, but you just can't get around him.
I mean, you just got to count down the laps and play the waiting game. You can see there that he's just defending quite hard over Johnny, and yeah, I mean, it's a matter of time. I think it looks like he's got some good car speed there. And we'll see again, he's defending, and yeah, John's going to have to go the long way around for sure.
This 5, 6, 7 complex was designed so that they can go side by side through these corners. Anderson almost overcooked it.
I think what they've done with the circuit's great. They've added in a little bit more opportunities there to overtake. Oh, just into the back of him there. It's, yeah, I mean, rather than just having a straight run down to the hairpin, it's fantastic to see this opportunity for overtaking there.
How much can you rub at the other guy up a bit here? How much can you intimidate?
Coming from an open wheeler background, I mean, I love it. I mean, you've got doors, front bars, rear bar. You can definitely try and put the pressure on the guy in front without, you know, doing any real detrimental damage to him. So it's all about applying the pressures. We can see here's right into the back of him now. And he's up there now.
Finally, Johnny Mack gets it done with a big slide into turn 1. Anderson falls back into second position in terms of the lower category of racing here this weekend, the older generation cars. And now it's up to John McIntyre to try and gap these two. It's Russell Williams back there in third.
I mean, that's the difficult thing. When you're putting the pressure on the car in front, you've got to try not to slow both you up, because as we can see there, you know, third place is really coming to contention here.
The front of the TLX class, the new car of the future, as Johnny Mack gets a bit sideways. It's still Jason Barguana, but Nick Ross has just set the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look at this move once more. He lined him up perfectly, didn't he? Yeah,
definitely. Like I said, you know, for this corner, you've really got to be up the inside and make it stick. As you can see, it's one of them places that's bumpy and very high speed, so the cars are out of shape.
Oh, this is big. We've got two off in the weeds. That's Tom Alexander, 18-year-old kid who's graduated out of Formula Ford, and Mal Finch in the Mobil 1 Falcon.
I mean, it's a big stop down into turn 5, so I think it's probably just caught someone out there.
Back at the front of the field. These new cars for the new year of New Zealand V8s. And Jason Barguana so badly wants to win this championship. He was runner-up last year behind Angus Fogg. And if he can win these two races, he will win the title. Here we go, once more. Whoa, Tommy, up the inside.
Just a little bit too eager on the brakes. I think maybe a bit too much rear bias, and obviously offline as well, trying to make a move. You've got to be careful there. It's going to be a little bit messy.
Tom was fourth in this year's Formula Ford category. You can usually throw the Formula Fords around a bit like that, but...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a great proving ground for anyone that wants to come up to supercars. Cars move around a great deal, and as we can see here, the circuit's so high speed. You know, the cars are moving all the time, and yeah, it's a great place to get some experience in obviously Formula Ford and then into supercars.
So that's the gap between the Holdens and the Toyotas. Collins still sitting in front of his teammate, Martin Short. Short's 22 years old, runner-up in the championship at the moment behind Jason Barguana. Not what he needs in terms of the championship.
I mean, Jason's obviously going the right way about it at the moment. I've actually raced Martin Short a few times, and you know, great guy, and he's doing a very solid job. But definitely, you know, the experience is showing here with Jason is out front doing a great job.
Just counting up the points, this gap now between Barguana and Short will fall over the 75-point gap difference, which could essentially win Barguana the championship. He's been runner-up in so many championships before. Formula Ford in 1995, Formula Holden in 1997.
I know what it's like to be a runner-up, and at the moment I'm sure he's hoping he can get his teammate out of the way and do his best he can to chase down Jason.
For sure, he's a former New Zealand Formula Ford champ, but you raced him in Australia in the Formula Fords, as you were saying earlier. Ian Booth, the director of this series, getting a little bit messy. That's the car that Kane Scott won the title in a few years ago. Good to see the boss getting out there and having a go.
Yeah, I'm sure a few of the ones up and down pit lane are like that.
I suppose if you're ever unhappy with a few decisions, you can go out and serve him one.
It's always interesting, though. I think they often think they can do a better job than us, so it'd be interesting to see some of them out there, actually.
We've got some kids around him in a minute. That's James McLaughlin behind him, 18-year-old. Once more. Oops. See, he got ran wide, didn't he?
Again, just, I mean, a bit eager on the brakes from both of those guys and just know where to go. But, I mean, this is what we're looking for when you get a circuit like this. Adding those couple of corners, it's an improvement, to say the least. It's certainly making for some interesting racing in there.
And this is Matt Booth. We just saw Ian Booth. This is Matt Booth getting a little crossed up, trying to get underneath Tom Alexander through turn 4.
He's certainly keen to get on the gas there, isn't he?
I know he's trying to get a run down the back straight, but that's probably not the fastest way of doing it.
I think, yeah, I mean, you always want to get the jump on the guy out of the corner. I mean, that's very early, though.
Back at the front of the field. And this is the battle for 3rd and 4th at the moment. We're in traffic. We thought
already.
This might happen. That's Nigel Carl that they're coming up to lap. They've already put one through around Sean Varney and Liam McDonald, the 15-year-old. And this is good here. Here we go. A lap and a half to go. And Nick Ross all over the back of Jason Bargwanna. Looks high.
I mean, that's the opportunity you look for when you're the second car in a race and you catch some lap traffic. You've got that bit of time to set the car up in front and hope, you know, he catches the car at the wrong time and you get a run on him, which we can see what's happened here.
The two Holdens at the front of the field.
Difficult out of here to try and get a switchback, just being a left-hander coming up, you know, coming out of the right. You can't quite get across, it's just too high speed.
Through 10 and 11. Can he get a run onto the front straight? Now that they've got some clean air.
I think right about now, I think he's going to be looking to get the best exit out of 4 and challenge into 5. I think that's probably going to be the best shot.
Okay, final lap. Last chance to do it.
Plenty of curve into there.
Taking liberties with the curves. Crawling all over him. As Scott said, he needs to get the run out of 4. Has he got it?
Just not quite close enough. I think he's going to find it difficult. I mean, you'd have to be saying if he does it now, it's going to be very deep on the brakes, but probably the hairpin's the next option.
There's traffic up ahead. Are they going to catch them in the half a lap that's left? Bargwanna and Nick Ross. The Kiwi chasing the Aussie. He's all over the back of him. Can he have a dive into the hairpin? Looks high once more. They're all over the traffic. This is going to be very, very close to the finish line.
It's going to be difficult to get anything done here.
Terrible time to come onto the traffic. It's Mel Finch who they'll come up to first. Through 10 and 11. Bargwanna has to lift out of 11. Can Nick Ross get the run? The run to the checkered flag. Bargwanna's just going to hold on. Yes! Jason Bargwanna holds on in a very, very exciting New Zealand V8 Supercar or V8 touring car race. And it's Collins Holmes for 3rd in front of Martin Short, and that could be the championship just about done and dusted. It's Hayden McKenzie who comes home 5th, which is last of the TLX cars, and that was an awesome race between the two Holdens.
Hey, they're obviously starting to struggle there with the tyres at the end and obviously catching that lap traffic. Jason did a great job to hold on, but no doubt, you know, the other guys are going to be devastated with that, especially if championship's up.